everyone, it's Casey. Welcome back to hopefully the final installment of my Paola Reina doll. Some things have changed since part 2, and I wanted to tell you about it and what I'm gonna do. So I never was super happy with the original body. It's very large, even with the head. It's very large. I know it's probably the correct proportions, but as a fan of Blythe dolls, I like the larger head, smaller body look. So I never was super happy, but the other reason was it's not jointed, which just makes posing harder. And part of the reason I didn't like the larger size is because I didn't have any clothing that was going to fit this size, and I really wasn't wanting to try to go and shop for something with everything taking so long to arrive right now, and I just didn't want to deal with it. I just wanted to dress her with things I already had. So I started thinking about if it would be possible to put this head on a Blythe size body, and so I started messing around. This is a jointed body that I have for sale in my shop. And I pulled it out, and the first thing that would be nice about it is all the clothing I have for Blythe will fit it, and I really love this dress on her with her hair color. And so the neck head of the neck head opening of the Paola Reina doll is really large for this body. And so it flops around in there. And so what I've done actually is I used a paper clip to attach to the neck joint of the Blythe doll body, and I put it inside there, and it's holding it in. Of course, it's not going to stay like that, so I'm going to try to add some epoxy around the opening that will hold the head at least in place and sort of plug up the hole so it's not flopping around, and hopefully it will hold her head, because right now it's pushing down like that, and I want it to hold it up so you can see her cute little neck. So I like the proportions a lot. I'm really hoping it's going to work. It's going to work similar to the short Blythe that I did, where I put the Blythe head on the shorter body, and that ended up working out fine. So I think it's going to work. The only other thing is this body is a little bit lighter colored than her. So I spent all the time that I did coloring this body, and now I'm going to set it aside, and I am going to have to color the Blythe body a little bit. Most likely I will just be coloring the arms, legs, and around the neck. I'm probably not going to color the torso because it's unnecessary and we have too many joints going on. So I know that's a little bit of a departure from where we left off, but I think I will be happier in the end with a jointed body that will fit Blythe clothes. And honestly, like, looking at her, especially with the clothes on, I actually really like the proportions. So I think it's going to be really cute. So what we're going to do today is get the epoxy on and make sure first that is going to hold it in place the way that I'm hoping that it will. And then once that sets, so we'll have to let that sit overnight. Once it sets, I will have to paint the part of it that's still showing, because the epoxy is going to be white. And then I will need to cover her face and color the body at least a little bit, and then onto the hair, and then hopefully she'll be done. So I'm going to get the epoxy out and we'll get started there, and then we will come back and do her coloring over again on the body. So it appears to be working. The main issues that I'm trying to avoid is I want the head to be able to turn but not flop, and I don't want the neck to go down inside, and it sort of seems like that is what's happening. So I'm kind of just adding more and more, and I think it's pushing it down onto the paper clip inside, which is what I want to happen, so it can build a firm sort of base in there. I'm just hoping that it's not going down inside the head, because I really don't want to fill the head up with epoxy. I just want her to be mobile, her neck to turn, but not go deep inside the head. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. And so I'm just continuing to add, but you'll see that her head does sink down, and that's not what I want to happen. So I'm just going to keep adding, and hopefully that builds it up. If not, I may just have to let this epoxy dry and then add a little bit more if it's not perfect. I do think it's working though. I'm just making sure, because like I said, I want her head to be able to move but not flop, and that's my main goal. So I'm just going to keep adding for now, and then like I said, we may let it dry and then see tomorrow. I probably will have to sand it down as well, so I'm not worrying too much about the surface being perfect. I think I'm gonna leave it for now, and see if we have to add more tomorrow once it's nice and cured. Because it's still I'm wondering why her head's still going down in there when there's so much clay. Well, let's use up what we have and then we'll see. I'm going to push more down in there and hopefully it'll attach to that paper clip. Alright, I'm going to leave it at that. I still don't think it's perfect, but I think it's going to be better when the epoxy is dried, and we may have to add more, but at least this will give us a base to start with. So I will hopefully be able to get on tomorrow and give you guys an update once it's dried really well. And we'll see if we need to add more. But I think it's going to work, because so far it's working. So I just want to make sure that as it dries, it's not sinking her head back in there, and to make sure that neck is out. So I'm going to figure out how I can lay her so that that doesn't happen. And we'll come back and check on her tomorrow, hopefully. So be back soon. Hi everyone. Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry. It's been several days. I don't even know how long it's been at this point since I started this video. I have been swamped, and so before we get into how it worked with the Paola Reina doll, I just want to tell you what has been consuming my time. So every year in July I do a resin eye chip sale in my shop, and I think I've done it for 2 or even maybe 3 years now, and it typically brings in a few extra orders. I do it in July on purpose, because July, summertime, is typically a slower time in my shop. but everything has been turned upside down with the pandemic, and my shop has been experiencing a rapid growth, which I am very grateful for and appreciate every day. So I went ahead with my normal resin iChip sale. In the past it was buy one get one, but I decided that was a little too complicated and would be too much admin work this time. So I just went ahead and put them all half off. So even if you buy one pair of chips, you get them half off. But of course, it's a great time to stock up on lots of chips. And so anyway, I started the sale on the 1st of July, like always, and I have been swamped with orders. That's part of the reason is the sale and just in general increase right now in orders. So I have mostly been making iChips all day, every day, and sending them out. So if you haven't heard about the sale, it's the entire month of July. It's the best time. It's the best price. I never put them on sale more than this any other time during the year. I brought a favorite design out to show you. I know I've talked about resin chips in lots of videos, but they really are my favorite. They're so easy to use. They pop in, they pop out. You don't need glue. And they're nice and clear and shiny. I have a very nice printer that I use. And so check out the sale if you haven't yet. Get in on it before the month is over. So that's one reason I've been busy. The other reason is because I'm finally launching clothing in my shop. So I originally launched some strawberry themed sets. This is the last strawberry t-shirt I have. I have supplies on the way to make more. The reception of my clothing has also been incredible. I'm selling out of it pretty much within a day or two of listing it. So I have the strawberry outfits up, only one t-shirt left. Everything else is sold out. This weekend I worked on the cupcake sets. So the cupcake sets are a dress by me with hats by my friend Debbie. I'll put a link to her shop below. But she is coordinating with me to make the hats that go with these sets, stockings, and shoes. And so most of the cupcake stuff is still in the shop. Some of the shoes have sold. And so I don't think a complete outfit is available, but the dresses and hats are. So I'll put some photos up in the video also so you can see what they look like. But I had 3 sets of those. And just getting these together and photographing them is very time consuming. And then one of the other sets, because I really love tea-stained clothing, vintage style clothing, I made this dress. It's got a lot of detail. There's little felt hearts inside of the lace, ribbon, some accents on it. Because this is see-through, it has a little skirt that goes underneath it. Everything is tea stained, and these brown shoes come with it, and then this white knit hat. So these sets are still available also. I just listed them on the weekend, so if you're interested in those, check them out. I'm still working on building the website, but decided to start listing them as in my shop as I get the sets photographed. That way they're available right away, and I can always build and add the photos to the website later. So they're being well received. I'm spending my time building inventory for clothing, so I hope you'll check that out. So that's the other thing that's been keeping me completely swamped. But let's get to the Paola Reina doll and see how she came out. I am absolutely thrilled. So the epoxy dried, as you can see. Her head turns, it stays, it's magical. I'm so excited with how it turned out, and the fact that she will be able to wear Blythe clothing. And I actually just love the proportions. I brought the original body out so you could see how the proportions will be so different. I was never truly happy with this large body. So it's all blushed and beautiful, but I'm not going to use it. The only downside of this body is it doesn't quite match her. So I am going to now have to paint this Blythe size body for her. I also did start cutting her hair a little bit, as you can see, but it's still very poofy. It's going to take me quite a while to flatten it down, but I'm so excited how she's coming out. I couldn't be happier. So what we need to do today, and one of the things I realized after doing this is that I never glued the eyes prior to putting this on. So I'm hoping that they're pretty secure in there and we're not going to have any issues. There was putty, I believe, holding them in. So this doll is still kind of an experiment doll. She is going to be for adoption when she's done, but I'm learning a lot of things that I wouldn't probably do on the next one. Like I'd make sure those eyes are secured. But other than that, we're going to undress her. There's a couple things I need to do. First, I want to sand down around the neck a little bit just so that the putty is as smooth as possible, because then I'm going to paint it and hopefully match it to her skin tone as best as possible. The other thing is that the body needs to be blushed and colored a little bit more to match her skin tone. I'm probably not going to color the whole body. I will most likely just do parts that will stick out from clothing. I'm not going to do this part of her body. So to do that, I'm going to have to cover her head with plastic to spray the body. So what I think I'm going to do is first I'm going to sand this down and paint around there. And then when I cover her, I'm going to cover her just around the ears so that we also can spray some sealant on that in there on the putty, so that whatever color we put on there will be sealed. And then once that is all done, we will go back to working on her hair. So I'm not going to talk again through these parts. I'll just let you watch me work on it, and when she's done, I will be able to give you some after photos finally, hopefully, and she'll be available. So thanks for watching. I will check back in when we get to the end. Alright, so I've sanded it down. I'm a little concerned about the edge around it or it not being perfect, but I think that's because of the Mr. Super Clear that's there, and I'm thinking that when we spray it again, it will take care of that. So we'll see. It's all an experiment. So now I'm going to mix some paint to color it. I want to mention that it seems like everyone else is having summer except us. We continue to have cold and overcast days, rain. We've had barely any nice days yet this summer. So today it's dark here, and so I have to have my light on or I just can't see, but I don't like the way that it causes so many shadows and harsh light in the video, but that's where we're at. The neighbor kids are also playing right outside my window, so they may be screaming. So I'm hoping to keep the video muted as we work on her. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to mix up a flesh tone. Hopefully that will be close to her color, and then we'll sponge it on like we've done in the past, and hopefully we can cover it well enough that after some Mr. Super Clear you won't be able to see it. I didn't sand it perfectly. I think it's okay though. I don't want to damage too much around the neck. And I think paint is going to cover most of it. So again, we're going to do a skin tone, so that takes a while. So I'm not going to talk. We'll just start mixing it and see if we can get something. It already looks really pretty good, so we're gonna let that dry a little bit and put on a couple more coats. Okay, so I did 2 coats. It's not a perfect match. I still have a long way to go to learning how to do skin tones perfectly, but I think it's fine for now. Because I'm going to spray her with Mr. Super Clear, I think I'll be able to adjust the color more easily with the pastels. So now I need to cover her face, and I'm not sure yet if I'm going to even be able to spray her today because the kids have been playing right out on my patio where I normally spray, but let's see if we can at least get started. So because I'm going to do the body, I'm going to try to push her through this bag. Let's see. So what I want to do is cover just her face. It's not always easy to get this tape to stick, so I'm trying to make sure that it's good and secure and still have the spots that I want to spray uncovered. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. So now I will be able to, I might even put some plastic over her body. I don't want to get spray in this area. I mainly just want to get her hands and around her neck. So let me grab one more bag and we're going to cover her up there too. All right, so she's ready to be sprayed. So let's see if we can get at least started on her today. Hi everyone, I'm so excited to present to you my Paola Reina doll all finished. So this video and this doll has been such a long process. I really just wanted to get her done, and I didn't have time to record a lot of the process of finishing her because I was working on her at night. But I realized that I'd shown you much of the process anyway. So I did blush her body. I gave her little freckles on her shoulder and her chest. I did blush her body as I said I would, not on the torso. So it's mostly just her arms, the bottom of her legs, and her neck and chest area and the back. It worked really well. So the color is not perfect, but I think it looks really good. The neck part is the only part that, or the lower part of the head is the only part I'm not super happy with. But I love her so much. I know that I'm going to do another one, and I already know how I can do better on the neck next time. You can't see it at all in photographs. I'm going to put some photos I've been taking of her at the end of this video. So you can't really see it. I don't think it takes away from her at all. I also finished her hair. It was so poofy, but I got it cut really cute. I love pigtails. And so I thinned it out, and I got her hair in pigtails, and I was able to kind of flatten the front a little bit. I am just so thrilled with how she came out. Like I said, I love her so much. I will absolutely be doing another one. You can see her very wispy lashes, and I gave her some lashes. So that's really all I did since the last time I recorded of her. I finished blushing her body and finished her hair, and she is ready to go. So I've been thinking a lot about how I want to sell her, and because Paola Reina dolls are so new to me, and I know I mentioned her neck does tilt and stay most of it when she's standing up. It's so wonderful. I just love it. I'm not really familiar with Paola Reina pricing. I know it's not similar to Blythe. I don't feel like I can calculate so much based on labor hours with her because she was such an experiment that I worked on her quite a lot of hours. So I've decided that I'm going to do an eBay auction. I haven't used eBay in a really long time. I like auction style because it sort of helps decide what the price should be based on the bidding. So feel free to check out the link below to her eBay auction, and we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna kind of just start her at a price that seems right based on supplies and general labor that I would probably do normally after I know what I'm doing. So we'll see how that goes. If you're interested, check that out. And look for more of these to come. I'm going to sit down today and order another Paola Reina doll. I can't wait to do another. So I hope you enjoyed this long process of making this doll. I hope that you like her. And as always, be sure to subscribe. My channel continues to grow, and it really helps me when you subscribe as far as growing and sharing with others. So please subscribe, and I will be back soon with a new video. Bye, everyone.